racing right now. He's got traction, he's got rhythm, both of them! Maloney! Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top! Oh my God! Oh, big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Ozicar V8 Series, the season finale, coming to you live right here on Simspeed TV and presented by Simspeed and virtual motorsport mentor. We're at Oulton Park. We're using the island layout, and it should provide some pretty interesting action tonight. We're cutting out a little bit of the racetrack, but it still utilizes most of this English facility as we zoom in and take a look at where we are located. Right up near Liverpool and Manchester, two cities that couldn't be further apart in terms of greatness. One is great, the other is not. It is an absolute hellhole. You can figure out which is which as we zoom in a little bit closer. And tell us about this place, Nick.
Yeah, that's right, Ryan. So, shorter layout. So, 12 corners. Originally opened in 1953. And then a few amendments done. So 3.6 Ks. Looking at the weather as well today, 20 degrees overcast and the track temperature of 23 degrees as well, Ryan.
Yeah, so again, as usual, these guys don't have too much to worry about when it comes to track temp. Certainly not in this first race anyway. They're pretty comfortable for the drivers out there on the racetrack. So, let's get straight into it, ready for race one. Martin Turner's got the pole, and he's got James Chastanoff alongside him. Michael Dumbrell and Andrew Ritchie start third and fourth ahead of Kobe Williams. And Daniel Hedershot on row 3. Stuart Crawford and TJ Jones start 7th and 8th. Daniel Gray and Jason Reyes to your top 10.
Coming 11th, Brady Baldwin, David Baldock, Scott McCune, Roy Clark, and Julian Muki not registering a time on row 8.
So a 16 car field, 15, once you account the fact one of them is race control. And a very tight main straight here at Oulton Park.
Yeah, that's right, Ron. Very narrow track and lots of undulations as well. So yeah, it's a pretty short race. 10 minutes first up, and then we'll have the feature 20-minute after that.
15:25. You're 5 short there, Nick. There you go. There's the undulation. There's the narrowness of the main straight at Oulton. We're still waiting on someone to grid up. Oh yeah, that race control dude. I'm thinking we got 16 cars while they all gridded up. It's our live race control, who hopefully won't have too much to do today. We can have a good, strong finish to what's been a very clean season overall for the Ozicar V8s. 10 seconds left, and we'll get this one underway. All Turner's got to do is just finish this race. He'll seal the championship deal. He's been very consistent all season and is almost untouchable heading in today. Hear that noise as the supercars hit their limiters, and we drop the hammer and go racing from Oulton Park. And Chastanoff slips up on the line. And capitalising on that is Andrew Ritchie, straight down the inside, up into second, and Chastanoff's going to spin and going to take Dumbrell with him.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate accident there on turn 1. I've just caught Andrew Ritchie slipping into second place as well. So, yeah, Andrew Ritchie sometimes not qualifying the best, but seems to have some really good race pace with Hedershot just on his tail.
Down into the braking zone. This is where we cut off most of the normal circuit, and oh no, Crawford's gone around, and he's almost blocked the racetrack.
Yeah, so it looks like Chastanoff getting back into position. Yeah, just got it crossed up into that really tight hairpin at the end there. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate for Chastanoff with 2 race incidents in about 3 or 4 corners. So, yeah, potentially race control will be having a pretty hard look at that.
Freddie Baldwin's car, missing its front bonnet. This won't be doing wonders to that aerodynamic efficiency. If you look at a modem simulation replay, Crawford got onto the grass, which just spun him around as the car moved around on the braking, and, well, most of them had nowhere to go. Good heads up, though, from this man right here, Roy Clark, to cut across the inside. Would have given him a slowdown, but it was better than the alternative, which was a big crunch on the front bumper.
Yeah, these really tight corners seem to be really catching out a few people. Just looking at the timing screen now as well. So Daniel Hedderschild up 4 positions. I think he was about 7th or 8th. So, and Julian Mookie not having a good day. So not registering a lap in qualifying, and now looking like he's either serving a penalty or, yeah, having to take a pit stop for damage.
Yeah, he's got a bigger issue because he's just jumped on the brake pedal coming out of pit road. So his race is done as Chastanov's rear end has pretty much said, I'm done for today. Into the braking zone. That's Roy Clark in front of him with Brady Baldwin falling victim to his lunge down at the chicane. Chastanov tried to follow. TJ Jones and Scott McCune tucked up just in behind him as well.
Yeah, it's a real and we've just seen just seen a car go off, and yeah, it was Brady Baldwin. So yeah, this really technical traffic. It does have, especially turns like turn 4, some really slow speed corners mixed in there. So it is catching out a few people already in this small field.
The replay here, after Baldwin dropped that spot, he was trying to recover. And then just drops it wide there. Didn't get a great exit. Up and over the crest. It was the tyres where he could have been careful not to break loose over there. But he did break loose, and it was on the entry, and the car just never really slowed down. Got the fence as well.
Yeah, Druid's corner is a little bit of a tricky one. As they go past Water Tower, there is a slight crest, so potentially maybe lost his brake marker there, but yeah, very unfortunate.
Chastanov gets by Roy Clark down at the hairpin. That was a very easy move in the end. And Clark does seem to be suffering a bit of a lack of race pace at the moment as he drops down the order after getting that handful of spots, courtesy of lap number 1. As here we go, McCune having a look at TJ. Not quite able to force his way by over the crest. And now back into where we just saw the mistake from Baldwin. Jones makes a similar mistake, just skips it on the racetrack. And now here comes Bulldog and Crawford trying to get by him.
Yeah, so Crawford seemingly with a fair bit of pace. He did have that earlier incident at the start where he half blocked the track there. And I was actually just looking back at the front of the field as well. So Martin Turner, like almost half a second clear of the rest of the field at the moment. He's absolutely putting in those consistent laps. I don't really think that Hedderschild and Ritchie will be able to stick with him, as we're just seeing a lot of curb there taken by Crawford. So yeah, some pretty aggressive driving early on. He is trying to get back into the mix there.
Well, it is a sprint race, so no time for him to rest on his laurels or lament in that mistake he made. So the gap at the front is 2.4 seconds from Turner to Ritchie, 3.6 back to Hedderschild, and then Kobe Williams is 5.5 adrift. Big gap then to everyone else who got caught up on lap 1. 10 seconds back is Daniel Gray in 5th. And Chastanov is all the way back in 6th position after starting on the outside of the front row.
Yeah, bit unfortunate for Chastanov. It really does go to show you really got to get that qualifying in. We'll get to see another session live after this race, but we're just catching Martin Turner down that back straight now. So yeah, really, really good pace out of that chicken up racing car as he comes out of Knickerbocker into
what?
Knickerbrook, sorry. Down into Druids, down into the hairpin there. So yeah, you can just see that Knickerbrook's coming up next, sorry. But yeah, you can see that gap now opening up to Andrew Ritchie, and it seems that he's really finding time everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you fast, Turner? Everywhere, he says. And 3 seconds it already opens up to on this lap, so he's looking very comfortable. That championship will be his once his checkered flag officially flies onto this, our first race in the evening. In fact, I reckon he's pretty much sealed it already. I don't think there's any way of Crawford catching him, especially with that mistake that he made as we ride on board with Michael Dumbrell looking down from the roof. Started third, a Heat 2 has fallen. He's now 13th and 25 seconds away from Turner. Might be able to get one spot back in the form of Jason Reyes, who's right there in front of him.
Yeah, pretty consistent effort by Jason Reyes. It is interesting seeing some of the names come through. So we did have Julian Muki, unfortunately, is now a DNF for this race, but also competing in the Ozicar Turbo Touring Cars and the Skip Barber Series as well. So, yeah, great to see. As a big slide from Dan G. Yeah, it's interesting seeing these V8 supercars go around this track because, yeah, they quite a lot of power and quite heavy as well. So, yeah, it's a lot of work navigating these really tight corners here at Oulton Park.
Because of how high power, they're overpowered and undertired, as you would say. So the low speed nature of this track makes it extremely difficult because you are constantly trying to hit that throttle from a low speed where the aerodynamics of the car aren't working very well, and all the rear end wants to do is come around on you. So probably one of the trickier tracks to visit in this car because of that. It's also very tough to pass here. It doesn't offer up that many opportunities, which also generally keeps the racing pretty close. So keep an eye on that in race 2 when we have to make a pit stop. So potentially that could be one of the bigger overtaking chances of the race.
Yeah, as well, Ryan. So and there's not too much runoff either. So quite a narrow track. Yeah, as we've seen already, we've seen a few people. If you drop that wheel or a couple of wheels out the side, it can be all over pretty quickly. As we're just seeing, Jason Reyes and Michael Dumbrell just pulling it up as we're on board, looking back at James Chastanoff there, missing his rear wing from that blue Mustang there as they come out of that hairpin on turn 4. Coming down that back straight. So James Chastanoff having a pretty mixed season. He was a late starter, but he's had some podium positions. I think he's also had a win as well. So yeah, it'd be great to see him in a few other series and stuff coming up.
Doing a good job of recovering, isn't he, after the slight slide he had at turn 1, which resulted in him almost spinning. Dave Baldock, he's made a mistake. He rejoined, so it doesn't look like he's hit anything. Daniel Gray has capitalised on all the drama. He's gained 4 spots in this one so far. He'll be looking to hold that. McKeon, Crawford, again, 2 drivers who've very much been up or down so far. Gap at the moment, 3/4 of a second. That's a car on the fence, I reckon, and it is. It's Michael Dumbrell. And the motor's gone pop as well. And what's happened to him?
Yeah, he seems to be going around on that corner. Oh, it's absolutely, yeah, pummeled him into that fence there. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate for Michael Dumbrell. So we're catching the onboard now. Jason Reyes just in front there. But, yeah, looks like took a lot of curb and, yeah, potentially might have clipped that grass there and a bit too much power and it spun him around there. So, yeah, pretty unfortunate way to end this race. Just under 4.5 minutes now left on the clock. Got James Chastanoff and Daniel Gray. Chastanoff on a bit of a redemption, so starting from second place, has fallen down a little bit. right there on the tail of Daniel Gray, so he's missing his rear boot and his spoiler. Bit of battle damage, but yeah, some pretty good pace at the moment.
No, he can't get there at turn 1 because the braking zone is too short. He looks, but he does find that issue. The braking zone is not long enough. Turn 2 is a non-event. There it is, right there. And then he brake into turn 3. Again, no way to get by. Up here at the hairpin, one of the best opportunities if he gets run out of 3, which he didn't really get. He lunges closer, actually locks up that front right, but walks it up to the back bumper and can't go any further past that.
Yeah, so James Chastanoff has really closed that gap in, so I think he pulled almost 7/10 of a second there on Daniel Gray, so definitely the stronger of the two. You can see Daniel Gray locking up the brakes there in some of the tighter corners, so potentially might be really feeling that pressure there and seeing Chastanoff right in his rear mirrors there.
A much different line being taken through the double right-hander there. It was good for a moment for Chastanoff, but you saw how he suffered on the exit. He was also fighting some oversteer due to how shallow his line was when he tried to pick up the throttle. It's a good demonstration of the pros and cons of inside versus outside of some of those corners. And it can change on lap to lap as well as the grip levels go up and down. On the racetrack itself and the tyres is a good run for Chastanoff, but he's tried to put it the wrong way. He's tried to force his way to the inside of turn 2. That's a pretty dumb move.
Yeah, possibly getting a little bit hasty. We do have 2 laps to go. Just jumping on the radio there, I think he possibly might have apologised, but yeah, it's a pretty optimistic line there going around the outside as we're catching the modem simulation replay.
You put that more tactfully than I did.
Yeah, so Chastanoff getting the really good run on the straight, yeah, and trying to both go for that same line there, so...
Almost hooked him.
Yeah, almost
for Daniel to hang on to it.
So we'll see that they're just coming through, about to come through Druid's corner now for the last lap. Oh, hard on the brakes again for Chastanoff as they go through Deer Leap into the start-finish line. Oh, mixed up my corners again.
Here we go. Up the inside, in the braking zone. And he gets it done. That's how you do it, Chastanoff. And puts himself back inside of the top 5. Should have 2 laps to go. I reckon Turner got there. Before the clock went below a minute 20. I mean, he can afford to roll off by about 3 seconds and probably make it the white flag lap if he wanted to. Is that comfortable out front?
Just coming out of those chicanes now towards Water Tower. So, yeah, Martin Turner put in a really, really good season. I think he did have a few not so great rounds, but for most of the part, he's been really, really on pace. And, yeah, absolutely finishing the championship in style with a win.
Watching from above as he comes to the line. He will get the white flag this time. So one more time around Oulton Park for Turner to seal that championship deal with the race still to run. The 25-minute feature coming up in a few minutes' time.
Looks like we've got the field pretty spread out now. There's not too many packs at the moment that are showing up. We do have Kobe Williams. Haven't really seen too much of him all season, really. I think he might be a new entrant, so showing a lot of pace for one of the newcomers. So I know that we're having a week off from some of the Aussie car action, and next season we'll be back again with the Turbo Touring cars and the Skip Barber series. So definitely jump on board and follow Ozicar on Facebook. You can grab them on Discord as well, and yeah, definitely put an entry in because yeah, such a great development series.
change of position for third place there as Martin Turner comes to the final sector. And this will be job well done for him. That's all he needed to do. Out of the final corner, Martin Turner gets that win. Takes the win, takes out the championship. And a good race for Turner from the pole.
Yeah, just missed that overtake there, but Kobe Williams getting it done there on header shot. So as you can see how excited he is. So yeah, great work with Kobe Williams. Also great work by header shot. We've seen him in quite a lot of the broadcasts of V8 Series at the moment. So he's really showing his talents and getting that experience in. Scott
Sub
McCune.
by side to the line. That was pretty close, but McKeon couldn't quite get there. As they've all crossed. We'll have a look at our results then from Oulton Park. Margin of victory in the end for Martin Turner was a cool 5.7 seconds over Richie. Kobe Williams climbing up on the podium in third. Daniel Heddershard and James Chastiner fourth and fifth. They had Daniel Gray, Roy Clark, Scott McKeon, Stuart Crawford, and TJ Jones.
Yep. Outside of your top 10, Jason Rez in 11th, Brady Baldwin, Dave Baldock, Michael Dumbrell with an accident, and Julian Muki with a DNF.
All right, we'll go to a break here on Simspeed TV, and when we come back, we'll have the final race of the season.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's going around the outside. Both of them. Maloney. Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to him. Oh, my God. Oh, big crash. Oh, my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?
Welcome back to the Welcome back to Simspeed TV. Welcome back to Simspeed TV, and most definitely this is Simspeed. Our coverage of the final round of the Ozicar V8 Series. About to begin the final race of the season, and qualifying to set that grid is currently underway. But let's take a look at how the championship looked heading into today. It was a comfortable gap for Martin Turner, 24 points. And after winning race 1, he's now won the championship. And, well, there it is. Thank you, Jay. And then the battle for P2, though, was pretty close between Crawford and Heddershide. Now, back in race 1, Crawford obviously had that issue and dropped down the order. Heddershide finished 4th, so he might be leading that one now. So keep an eye on that fight over the course of this race, Nick.
Yeah, that's right. We've also got the battle for 4th place as well, also separated by 2 points between Jason Rez and Julian Muki. So yeah, Julian Muki having what looked to be a technical issue early in the first race, so hopefully he can get it back together. Sean Lindsay was the early leader. He was some pretty great place. Roy Clark coming in a little bit later on. Daniel Gray and Jaeger Pascoe.
All right, so on the racetrack, here's Scott McCune on his first flying lap of qualifying. Let's see what he can do as he heads to a double right-hander, carries a lot of speed, and then into the final braking zone. On the racetrack, track dips away from you. I got my corners mixed up. No, I didn't. It does dip away from you there. That is the final corner. And then up the hill he runs and across the line. Where does this lap put Scott McCune? 5th place for now.
Yeah, it can get a little... There is a lot of trees around here at Oulton Park, so yeah, it can get a little bit confusing. as I demonstrated in the first race on where everyone is. Just on board here with Andrew Ritchie. Relatively fast lap around this track at a round with James Chastanoff at 1:20. So we just see him go through Druids now. Over the crest, into the big gully and back out again. So Andrew Ritchie not really getting many front row starts this season as he... invalid lap. So... in fourth. So Andrew Ritchie always really strong with his race pace, but always seems to struggle a little bit with the qualifying, but he does seem to make it up, as we've seen in the last few rounds with Brady Baldwin finishing his lap off now. The 1:21.7. Putting him...
Chastanoff, currently fastest.
Yeah, so Chastanoff showing some really, really good pace in that lap one. Didn't seem to qualify in race one. Didn't seem to qualify too well, but he's definitely making up for it now. So he's going to put down another pretty quick lap.
Well, I mean, he did qualify second in race one.
That is right. Sorry, it was the accident in corner one that actually put him at the back. My mistake.
He was fastest, and then Turner showed up and put 4 tenths over him. He cut the gap down to 2 tenths for the second lap, but Turner, the reason he was late doing a lap was because his first one was invalidated, so he's probably skated off the racetrack somewhere. So we'll see whether he has an issue on his third lap, maybe, and Chastanoff can potentially get one up over him. TJ Jones on board with him. First time he's raced this season, if my memory serves me correctly, which often it doesn't, as he comes down into the braking zone for the chicane. Tricky braking zone. You're heading downhill, so you've got to brake a little bit earlier than you would anticipate for that corner.
Yeah, TJ having an accident earlier in this qualifying session is just watching in the background on the screen. We've actually had quite a few cars come off, so it's, yeah, everyone really pushing to their limits, and it's quite a tricky track, and it's also very short runoffs as well. So quite often we've seen a few cars come off, and you've got to get a tow back to pits and do it all over again. TJ sitting currently 10th. See if he can better his lap. Seems to be quite off the pace on that one, so he'll have to get another lap in on that. Andrew Ritchie trying to better his time here in this qualifying session with 4 minutes to go. Coming around Druids. Over that hill there for the start-finish straight, and see where he sits. No change. So sitting in 4th place. So
yep. Good effort. Everyone's done a lap and put a time on the board. And let's see if everyone's done all 3 laps. Not quite. Stuart Crawford's going to bring it to pit road, practicing the pit entry, and he'll want to back up the braking point a little bit earlier because that will be a spinning penalty in the race. Kobe Williams currently sitting in 5th. He's on his final lap of qualifying session now. First time we've seen him all season long. Don't often see him in the V8. Normally it's the TCR or the GT stuff, but showing is pretty handy in these things as well, as he will stay 5th despite improving his lap time on that effort. So everyone's qualifying session is done and wrapped up pretty early in this session with 3 minutes still to run. So let's have a look at the grid. So Turner and Chastanoff will start in the front row again. I think Chastanoff will be hoping for a bit of a better launch than last time. One that doesn't end up with him 3 wide in the middle, entering turn 1. Stuart Crawford and Andrew Ritchie starting 3rd and 4th. Ritchie, we're hoping he does get the same launch as last time, where he went 3 wide up the inside and gained 2 spots. Kobe Williams and Daniel Heddershide 5th and 6th. Roy Clark and Daniel Gray starting 7th and 8th. Crawford and Heddershide. Watch those two over the course of this one. They're starting a row apart, and they are fighting for 2nd in the championship. And Jason Reyes, TJ Jones, your last 2 cars inside the top 10.
For 11th, David Baldock and Scott McCune, Brady Baldwin and Michael Zambrell on row 7.
So we've shrunk to 14 cars for this one. So if Hedderscheid and Crawford finish the way they are now, they'll be tied for second place as well. So a lot to run between now and the end of race 2, which is this race. But possibilities there for an even Stevens at the end of the season, and I wonder how that would be resolved. Most likely by most wins, and then most seconds, and most thirds, and so forth, till you have a clear winner. As session's been advanced. How nice of you, Race Control. And we're going to head now to the grid for race number 2. Weather conditions, pretty much the same here, Nick.
Yeah, it's a very nice 28 degrees on the track, 20 degrees and overcast in the sky. So not expecting too much there from the tyre degradation. What would be your strategy, Ryan, for this one?
Stay out of trouble and make it past turn 1.
Yeah,
If
that's a
James
good
chapped
plan.
enough, I'd be taking that one in a close stead, because that was definitely his weak point for the first race. But I think pit strategy is going to be extremely important, because you can get the undercut or the overcut, depending on what you want, and might be one of the easier ways to get by on such a narrow racetrack as this is. And if the field doesn't get elongated by a lap 1 crash, it's going to be a lot more condensed as well as we head towards the pit window. Big spread throughout the field in the first race, which is a bit abnormal, but it was because of the issues we had on the first lap. Just gonna have to go all the way to the 2-minute timer once again.
I'm really looking.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ryan. Yeah, I'm really looking forward for the battle between Chasnoff and between Crawford and Hedderscheid. So both 111 teammates. So yeah, and especially with Crawford getting the couple of spot jump on Hedderscheid. So yeah, I reckon we're in for a really good race.
That's the view backwards from Stuart Crawford's machine. There's his rival, Daniel Hedderscheid. That's who he's fighting. They're teammates as well, so that could make things a little bit interesting in the team, especially if they come to blows. Alright, time's out. Let's get this one done. Final race of the season. Final race of the series for now is underway. Oh, front row go nowhere. Here comes Crawford and Richie. Chastanoff going backwards at a rate of knots. Hedderscheid gets to the inside of Crawford. They touch. Chastanoff goes around. Crawford's off the racetrack. And Hedderscheid has snuck through. Absolute chaos at turn 1.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a review there by Race Control, Ryan, because yeah, we clearly saw Hedderscheid giving Crawford there maybe a bit of a hip check as they come down the straight here. Just seeing Kobe Williams just underneath. Oh, and we've had a few brake lockups and stuff, so sorry, we're just catching through on Race Control. So David Baldock has received a penalty there for that incident there on turn 1. It does seem that it's a bit tricky here for some of these cars to get through on that turn 1. It's very tight when the grid is bunched together.
Yeah, the fourth started getting capitalist for that, as they all ended up 3 abreast heading into turn 1, which is not a corner you really want to go side by side through. As you see the replay as Chastanoff goes around and everyone manages to avoid him, and Crawford rejoins the racetrack as well from out there on the grass. Now, here's a replay from the front. You see Chastanoff getting swamped by the field. Watch the right, up the inside goes 111 esports car, and off the racetrack goes the other. So the teammates do tangle. At the moment, that means Hedderscheid is walking away with second in the championship.
Yeah, definitely a round to forget for James Chastanoff. Again, having issues there on that first lap, and with another first lap incident in 2 of 2 races. So pretty unfortunate. Hedderscheid almost taking out the back of Kobe Williams there. So really hard on the brakes there. He was lucky to make that back, but we still got over 22 minutes now, so might be worth just sitting in for the moment and yeah, picking your time for the pits. As we've just had Michael Dumbrell go off in the background. I've just caught a session out. Just caught in my peripheral there. But yeah, so quite a few cars having issues at the start here of Oulton Park. It is such a tricky track. We're just catching a replay now. Couldn't really catch that potentially if you got some help or something, but you can see how slippery that grass is.
Replay from above for Dumbrell as he breaks into the chicane, gets through there. No, he doesn't. Too much curb, unloads the car. May have just clipped the tyres to produce that reaction. As we head back to the live shots, this is TJ Jones, Roy Clark just up the road from him. Clark in 5th place, courtesy of some good driving. Once again, had to avoid a crash. Wasn't quite as severe as the first one, but looks like it's carrying a bit more pace as well here in this race.
Good seeing a few internationals too getting a bit of an interest here in the V8 Supercars. Do believe TJ is American as well. I did hear a bit of an American accent before on the radio, so...
Nope.
No? Completely wrong. Just behind Roy Clark. Roy pretty consistent in this series. Some of the newcomers doing pretty well at the moment. So Kobe Williams all the way up in 3rd position now as we're on board with Roy Clark.
Good helmet he's got. Custom livery on that little custom scheme on that lid.
Yeah, even the paint's pretty amazing with the Kathy's pet portraits paint there, and his helmet as well. That's really cool.
Meanwhile, Martin Donos on the fastest lap of the race, again on lap 3. Continuing to extend his gap over Ritchie to 1.6 seconds now, 4.5 to Williams in 3rd. So he's having a pretty lonely old affair out there tonight. As at the other end of the field is Crawford. And Crawford's off the racetrack again for a moment. He is not on track to finish 2nd in the championship, although he has made his pit stop. So if he can put in some good laps, he may be able to claw his way back into the picture once everyone else comes to the lane, and Heddershide will be the one to watch in terms of that little battle, as Williams had a couple of jabs at the steering to get it hooked into the chicane there. So he's looking fast, but not exactly 100% comfortable.
Yeah, so Crawford does actually have a fair bit of clean air at the moment, so he's in a potential to tap those laps away with just catching a bit of on the timing scrim. So Roy Clark behind Heddershide there is actually closing in on him at the moment, so potentially we could see Heddershide here lose another position at the moment.
Yeah, he might do. If we look at the lap times, Heddershide on the last lap, 121.3, Roy Clark 121.4, so wasn't faster on that lap. Clark, the lap before though, was his fastest lap of the race, and it was a 10th quicker than Heddershide. But his sun just pokes out through the clouds as well.
Yeah, quite a picturesque track here, Oulton Park. It's really, really easy on the eye, and it's nice seeing all these hills and stuff as we...
You know why it's easy on the eye? Because it's England and there's no brightness at all.
That's right. We're saved from blindness with the overcast skies and the warm weather. But yeah, we're just seeing Roy Clark gap just stretching out at the moment to about just over a second now. So
a chicane's really awkward. It's not a chicane you can flow through very nicely at speed. You got to really slow the car up and pick your turning point, because obviously you've got to cut it as tight as you can to get through there as fast as you can. But those tyre bundles are, well, they're vicious if you do hit them. Can destroy your race and the guy behind you if you hit it right in front of someone else. Certainly not one of the easier chicanes on the service, as Freddie Baldwin gets it a little bit wrong out of the last corner, gasses it up on the power just a touch too early, and the rear swings out. He catches, loses about 0.3 of a second though to TJ Jones because of that one little mistake.
Yeah, so both pretty new to the Ozicar series, Brady Baldwin and TJ, but Brady just seeing with just that little bit of consistent pace. He did lose a bit from that mistake there, as we saw on that last corner, but potentially might be worth it to him at the moment to pull in a little bit early into the pits and yeah, get a clean nose and be able to put it in on strategy instead of just pace alone. Yeah, pretty awkward chicane there. There's quite a lot of speed, and yeah, you can't take a very wide line because it is quite narrow there. So we just watch them come down the back straight now.
And header shot is close right up to the back of Kobe Williams. Most of that time came on this lap because Williams was 3/10 faster last time around. He doesn't want any part of this battle, and he brings it to pit road and gets it slowed down nice and smoothly. Pretty awkward pit entry there. So the wall drops out on both sides. If you're behind someone, very easy for them to pull out at the last second, and you go slamming on into them. Crawford's out of the race. So that does give Heddershide second in the championship.
So we're just catching the replay of Brady on the back of TJ. So yeah, costly mistake there for TJ Jones. Unfortunately, yeah, that last corner is super tricky.
Meanwhile, Heddershide's gone lawn mowing down at the hairpin and doing his best to not claim second in the championship, but yeah, he should be safe as long as he finishes higher than 12th in this one. Here's the replay. How did he end up doing donuts in the grass? Into the braking zone. Remember, his car moved around a fair bit on lap 1 there. Spun it on the outside and had to drive to the grass to avoid getting hit. And then almost had to do a couple 360s there to avoid the fence.
Yeah, so just by chance, it might look like Stuart Crawford might be in a chance, but it actually, Stuart Crawford has looked like he's pulled out, so this is Heddershide's to lose now.
And that'll kill his battle with Williams too. That's a massive free kick to Kobe in that P3 scrap. He's now firmly half on the podium now, as long as T2 doesn't make a mistake. Although Chastanoff with the massive undercut, pitted very early, has actually emerged ahead of Kobe, and he has pitted. Only downside is his tyres may go off towards the end, and Williams may have a chance to run him down at that point. So it's actually Turner, Ritchie, and Chastanoff the net podium at the moment.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times too, they're actually pretty close together, with Martin Turner putting in his best lap on that last lap there. Yeah, both of them in the low 120s, so pretty quick at the moment as we just catch Martin Turner crossing the start-finish line. Approximately 11 laps remaining on Andrew Ritchie spinning it into the pits, so still needs to work out a way of turning it around there, so...
I told you it was an awkward pit entry.
Oh,
don't drive now, don't drive now, don't drive now! He drove then! Roy Clark. That's the second time Roy Clark's had to avoid disaster very quickly today, and again, does a good job of it.
Yeah, as you can see, this pit entry, so it's a really hard... Oh, yeah, way too quick there and too hard on the brakes while the car was loaded up, so yeah, spinning it almost into a car park there, so he's had to... As you can see, the big wall of smoke there from Andrew Ritchie, so looks like he'll avoid any penalty there.
Here's Williams, far from gaining a spot. He might lose one here to Roy Clark, who's found himself up onto the back bumper of Williams, is holding the ZB Commodore. And it's a true Holden versus Ford battle now, 4th place in this race. Chastanoff up the racetrack was half a second slower than Kobe on the last lap. Clark just came out of pit road.
Yeah, it really does go to show keeping your nose clean because, yeah, Roy Clark hasn't been a little bit more fortunate not having too many incidents at the moment. And you can see with even with the pace from Kobe Williams, you've only have to make one really minor mistake and then, yeah, it can be all over pretty quick as we see Jason Rez come in.
Kobe's broken away now on the last half of the lap. Got free of the target sights of Roy Clark. Replay here of the move that properly prompted the dive to the lane from Jason Rez as Daniel Gray got by and Rez said, "See you later," and took the right to pit lane. So Williams made a mistake last lap. He ran a 21.8 and Chastanoff for 20.7, so that's why Clark was probably right behind him when he came out of pit road. Most likely a mistake down at turn 1 for Kobe, or maybe turn 3.
Our leader coming in now, so Martin Turner, nice and smooth. Did have a 20-second gap there on Brady Baldwin, so does make our Brady Baldwin first out on track as he comes through. With James Chastanoff being our currently first effective car after the pits.
Turner's going to rejoin behind Hedderscheid and Scott McCune, of course. That's not for position, technically. I mean, it is, but completely different strategies. Those two yet to make a pit stop. Michael Dumbrell in 5th, also yet to stop. And then there's Chastanoff in 6th. Kobe also going for the mowing service out at turn 1.
Yeah, it seems such a battle of attrition at the moment. You've really got to try and keep it on the black stuff, as we've seen Kobe almost making a mistake every second lap, as we're seeing it.
Could be a lack of familiarity with this car as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And also potentially with his circuit, as we've on board with Andrew Ritchie losing a fair bit of time before with that mistake that he made in the pits facing the wrong way. Currently sitting in 9th. TJ Jones looking like he's
Made a mistake.
made a mistake there. Just catch a replay of that.
Thanks, Modal Simulation, of course. Here we go. Yeah, that's a mistake we've seen a couple times already today. And he did his best to stop it from spitting, which in the end resulted in him not only screwing up his brand new tyres, but burying his nose into the tyre bundle as well, as Baldwin pits from the race lead. Gets to lead a lap, but he'll drop back down the order. McCune and Dumbrell also getting their service done, and that leaves Hedderscheid to lead from Martin Turner by half a second, and he will go by him on the run out of the hairpin, maybe into the chicane. Hedderscheid's not going to let him. The Turner's going to have to be a little bit patient here and wait for the right moment to slip by. He's got a massive buffer to play with, so no reason to rush.
There's catch on board. Images now of Chastanoff. Oh no, we've had
Dumbrell has come into contact with the tyre bundle. Roy Clark also doing... where on earth is he? There he is. That's a very odd place to be that far off the racetrack. So, that's 2 separate incidents. We'll look at Roy Clark first. Into the braking zone. I wonder if he's... Oh, he's actually lost it heading into the corner and then...
driven almost in reverse.
Yeah.
You can see that grass is, super slippery, especially in that part.
Dumbrell must have been helped to end up in the fence before the braking zone. And, yep, just into the braking zone. Daniel Gray slightly outbrakes Dumbrell, and he gets unceremoniously dumped So exit stage left. Right there.
Yeah, just hearing over the race radio as well. So, yeah, penalty is being handed out because of that. So, yeah, a little bit unfortunate in the closing minutes. So, just over 7 minutes remaining, about just under 6 laps at the moment. So, Daniel Gray, Martin Turner with an almost 10.5 second lead at the moment to Chastanov. So, yeah, Chastanov losing a bit of time there. Kobe Williams still managing to hold it together a little bit after having a few off-track excursions. So, yeah, a few people made up a few positions after those earlier incidents.
10.3 seconds the gap. It doesn't get much more comfortable than that. He'll be happy to have finished this off with a sweep of the round, but probably a little bit monotonous for him out there at the front of the field. And James Chastanov in second, also in a land of his own. That's the price you pay for being faster than the rest of the field. And Kobe Williams is on the podium. So Andrew Ritchie, obviously that's right, he had that mistake coming into pit road, didn't he? And then Brady Baldwin in 5th, and Hadashide 6th, so Roy Clark 7th. They're all really spread out at the moment, aren't they? There's TJ in 8th, Jason Rez in 9th, McCune in 10th. And wait for it, here comes Dumbrell in 11th. He's got Daniel Gray right behind him again.
Yeah, so second penalty that are given there to Daniel Gray. So he's had 2 drive-through penalties for this race. It was interesting, Ryan. I was just casting my eyes over Hedderschild, so struggling for pace here a little bit at Oulton Park, and it's it's quite unique how you can see some drivers are really competitive on some tracks. We did see him at for multiple podiums last week at Silverstone, so. We just catch Dumbrell taking a lot of curb there, possibly a little bit too much, but managing to keep it together there. Dumbrell having a DNF in race 1, so currently sitting in 11th with Daniel Gray just behind him there.
Ritchie is still only 2.7 seconds away from Williams here, despite that damage to the front of the car and the front left as well. Looking quite a bit torn up after discovering how exactly his holder reacts to hitting the Armco on the brake pedal. So not that far from podium, despite that mistake. Goes to show just how much of an advantage he had up in second over everyone else. He'll be pretty disappointed with himself for making that error, because it most likely will cost him the podium. He doesn't have the pace over Williams. He's relying on him to make a mistake, which, to be honest, I don't think he will. He might be a little bit unfamiliar with the car, but he is a reasonably consistent driver. And now we wait for the mistake to happen.
Just while I got a moment as well, shout out to Ozicar Sinfinity and the race mentor, the virtual motorsport mentor.
There you go.
Don't forget, next season of Ozicar, so the Skip Barbers and the Turbo Touring cars, there's a few more spots available. Pretty good value for money racing here locally on, it's usually Tuesdays and Wednesday nights. Sorry, Wednesday and Thursday nights. So, yeah, they'll be really excited to see a few more drivers out in the field. So, pretty big fields for both the touring cars and the Skip Barbers.
But Nick, how do they sign up?
Ryan, I'm glad you asked. So, if you head over to Ozicar on Facebook as well as Discord, follow the links and pay a very small entry fee and you're good to go.
Wow, simply fantastic.
Yeah, that's right. All broadcasted here on Simspeed TV.
And if you're looking for a new crew for your TV infomercials each and every day, we're your guys.
While we're doing TV infomercials, Ryan, what's happening this weekend here on Simspeed TV?
I haven't got an idea. Not much, actually.
Not much, actually.
We've got the NASCAR iRacing Series tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from New Hampshire. That'll be a caution fest, most likely. And then the iRacing Grand Prix Series on Sunday morning. If you are slightly disturbed and enjoy getting up at 6 a.m. in the morning to watch sim racing. Or if you live in New Zealand. Which, again, that's the same thing as... yeah, so, you know.
Oh, I'm always up at 6 a.m. on a Sunday, so it's great. Boil the kettle. Usually catch the end of the Grand Prix Series. It's awesome to watch.
You never heard of a Sunday Lion? Or as I like to call it, every day of the week.
Every day. No, I'm usually always up early for work, so I don't try not to affect that body clock there. Hedderschild managing to, pull that time back there on Brady Baldwin. All over the bumper there.
Yeah, he is definitely close enough to make a lunge. Got to set himself up for it, though. Can't just, go, oh, yep, now's not go. You've always got to set yourself up. Got to think a few corners ahead. So now through one, you've got to set yourself up for the late apex, get the run out of the corner, which is exactly what he does. Through two, don't show the nose. Don't show the nose into turn three either. Just carry as much speed as you can. He has gone for a very shallow early apex, which I don't think is quite the line he needed to take, because he could have set himself up for a move down here at the hairpin. But Baldwin's going to defend that one rather needlessly, which is going to compromise his own exit. Hedderschild was a bit sluggish away as well, so no change in positions, even though there probably could have been a couple times now as we head into the chicane.
Yeah, Hedderschild right all over the back. Oh, big slide coming out, so giving a lot of throttle there on Hedderschild. Looks like we are going to get another lap now, so yeah. Hedderschild pretty lucky here to get another lap now on the back of Baldock as they come across that start-finish line. After this corner here on Druids.
Ah, you did it again.
Done it again. Too many trees.
So one more time around in the butter for P5. Hedderschild looking wide through the final corner. Into turn one. Has a look with the nose. Feels the mirrors of that car in front. Compromises his own line. Well, no! Baldwin's just thrown it off the racetrack all by himself. And that's exactly what he was trying to do. Showing the nose into those corners when he couldn't actually make the move. It's just fill the mirrors of Baldwin. Force the error. Get into his mind. And that's exactly what happened. And Baldwin makes a mistake.
Not a lot of steering lock here on the V8 Supercars, so pretty good effort there to catch that massive wiggle. Very unfortunate.
But out front, race win, championship win, round win for Martin Turner. No matter which way you cut it, been a good day for him. He gets it done here at Oulton Park. He will walk away as the first ever Ozicar V8 Series champion. Chastanoff recovers from a terrible start once again to finish P2 this time, so good improvement on the first one. And Kobe Williams will finish in third place. So a great drive from him. Pick up back-to-back podiums on his debut in the series.
Looks like we just missed it, but we did have Hedderschild come through there on Brady Baldwin with Roy Clark almost making a move on him there, but was not to be.
When Baldwin threw off the racetrack, didn't he?
Oh, that is true. Sorry. Yeah, that's right.
Baldwin was under threat from Clark as a result. Nearly 3 wide to the line there between Rez, Dumbrell, and McKeown. Not sure if it was particularly in that order. Turner then will celebrate his race victory, and we'll go through our results as he does so. probably celebrate his championship victory as well. While he's at it, 13 seconds he won by in the end. One of the bigger margins of the season. Baxter Cub Williams was almost 20 seconds. That's your podium. And then Andrew Ritchie and Header Shy 4th and 5th. Bob Wynn holding off Clark to finish 6th ahead of Clark. And then TJ Jones, Jason Rez 8th and 9th. Scott McCune in 10th.
We're just catching the outside the top 10. Martin Turner ripping some pretty sweet doughies there. Michael Dumbrell and Daniel Gray with Dave Baldock and Stuart Crawford retiring. Excellent season from Martin Turner. So yeah, can be pretty pumped up with that. We've seen the that chicken up racing car near the front of almost every round. So awesome work.
Let's play a game called Rate That Donut.
I'd give that a good 9 or 10. That's pretty good. We were catching some of the victory jumps last night with the skip barbers at Bathurst.
Yeah.
Quite a few skippies actually landed it as well, which was, quite good to see.
I don't know if anyone's told Turner that if he waits long enough, we won't be able to interview him. Hopefully he drags his ass out of that car and gets up into our booth, because we got to wrap this one up at some point. But from above, that is a majestic sight. Perfect zone up too. Yeah, kept it locked down in pretty slick formation. So he's obviously been practicing those skids.
I think he's trying to write his name there, Brian.
Nah. Well, it's not even an O in his name, but he's just flat out a giant O. So I don't know how people do it. I don't know if the foggiest how you could possibly do a skid and make it spell out your name, because that happens. I just end up spinning around again. Good excuse for Jay to get out his super duper ridiculously Simspeed slow-mo shot.
So header shot as well, securing that second place. Unfortunate for his teammate for the 111 Racing, Stuart Crawford, having that. Well, they had that coming together on lap 1 on turn 1. So I don't think there's a post-race review of that. So yeah, pretty unfortunate there for Stuart Crawford, but
there he is. About time, Martin's tearing it down post-race. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Championship win,
that was great.
Race win, round win. Pretty good night for you.
Yeah, it was a great night considering I've had a few shockers. To get 2 poles, 2 wins, championship win, it was really good. Yeah, just wish the series was a bit, a few more people in it and stuff like that. But it was good racing all round. Really, it was great.
Yeah, it certainly was. Been pretty clean. Of course, usual last round shenanigans, and there was chaos on lap 1 of both races. But for you, both races were just completely straightforward, and you were unchallenged. Did it ever feel a bit just, I guess, sort of monotonous out there? You start to let your mind wander, and that's when the mistakes can potentially creep in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's kind of hardest leading a race, really, because you start to think about things and kind of lose concentration a little bit there. I was really surprised, actually, I had such a gap. Didn't expect that at all. It was just, got a bit lucky, I think.
Yeah, it probably helps by Chastanoff balking it on the line both times and triggering calamity in your favour.
Right, yeah, I kind of missed that. I sort of figured something must have happened, but I wasn't too sure.
Yeah, they all kept spinning at turn 1, and then Crawford blocked the track at the hairpin in race 1 as well, which stopped about half the field from getting through.
That'll do it.
Obviously, no V8 series next season that we are continuing with TCR and Skip Barbers. We're going to see you back in those two to continue your run in Ozicar and potentially launch a different championship attack.
I might join back into the TCR Wednesday night. Wednesday nights aren't too great for me, so I might not make every race. But my plan is to probably join back up with that again. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that'll be good to see. Who you want to thank for helping you get it done today?
Just like to thank my Chicken Up teammates as usual, Mitch and Ash, and sponsors, Sim Race Designs, Baz's Fencing, Prestige Trophy and Badge, and you guys for doing the broadcast. Thanks for that.
All right, congratulations. Go celebrate that championship win and drink some
Cheers.
champagne.
Thank you. I probably will.
Just Martin Turner gets it done today for the day and for the championship. And that's us done for the season, for the broadcast team as well. Been a pleasure calling this one all season long. My name is Ryan Jones, and I was Nick Scarriage alongside me and Jay Kennedy behind the scenes. Remember to head to Simspeed TV on YouTube and hit subscribe. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well at Simspeed Sports Network, and Ozicar on Facebook as well. So you can stay up to date with everything that they and we are doing over the next weeks and months. But from all of us tonight, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney. Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top. Oh my God. Big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no, that's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God.